Buckle up for a ride that goes beyond the city streets and highways. We didn't just stick to the routine, we took this car for a spin on a specially curated off-road course. Surprisingly, even without the bells and whistles of fancy AWD or 4x4, it held its own on the rough terrain, leaving me thoroughly impressed. The suspension, while not as plush as the C5 Aircross, adds a layer of comfort that keeps things smooth and quiet through potholes, rocky paths, and bumpy stretches. So, whether it's tackling challenging roads, enjoying leisurely drives on broken paths, or exploring mild trails, this car has got it covered. Citroën had a clear vision for this model, steering away from typical SUV references. They insisted that the compact C3, which came before the Aircross, is strictly a tall boy hatchback. Despite its potential to fit the micro SUV trend, Citroën wanted the Aircross to stand out in its own league. Now, erase any thoughts of the C3 Aircross from my Suzuki Franx review. Unlike the Franx, which shares the Baleno's footprint, this new Citroën steps into the mid-size SUV arena. With a length of 4.3 meters, it's larger than its hatchback counterpart, boasting an impressive 200mm ground clearance, decent approach and departure angles, and the flexibility of 5 or 7 seats. It's ready to take on contenders like the Creta and the Carens with style and substance. Rev up your excitement for the C3 Aircross hitting the market, flaunting a single powertrain option. The turbocharged 1.2L petrol powerhouse straight from the C3 hatchback, joined at the hip with a manual transmission. While an automatic option might make an entrance down the road based on demand, I can't help but think it's a missed opportunity at launch. This absence might just keep potential customers from rushing into showrooms, and Citroën needs a bustling crowd to truly showcase the Aircross magic. Beyond the numbers on the spec sheet or Citroën's automatic e-commerce gateway, the C3 Aircross is a driving sensation that outshines its brochure promises. The 1.2L engine proves itself a powerhouse, effortlessly cruising even with a full load on board. In fact, it might just make the Honda Elevate's naturally aspirated motor seem a bit underwhelming. The manual transmission adds to the driving pleasure with its slick operation and a clutch that's city-friendly light. Dive into the dimensions of the C3 Aircross, where the 2,671mm wheelbase outshines mid-size SUVs, although it falls a tad shorter than the Carens, explaining the slight boot space difference with all rows up. But don't let that fool you. The C3 Aircross more than compensates with a generous dose of passenger room. Take a peek inside, and you'll notice a familiar layout up front. The dashboard and tunnel console echo the C3 hatchback, sharing a majority of components with a twist of different textures and colors. Despite the broad exterior, I suspect the cabin width remains similar, yet it's impressively roomy. The front seats, while boasting a flatter profile compared to the Creta or Elevate, are wide and welcoming. Now, let's talk features. Both variants boast a 10.2-inch connected infotainment screen, a nod to the C3 hatch, and showcase new digital instrumentation inspired by the C5 Aircross. The layout is simple, easy to read, and offers 3 display modes, including the minimal mode that I loved in the C5. However, no sunroof, climate control, or ventilated seats make an appearance, leaving us hopeful that Citroën has a trick up its sleeve to keep the pricing competitive.